Hi folks, welcome to G for G here on YouTube. Today we are here in Marvel Contest of Champions by Kabam, soon to be Netmarble, and we're taking a look at a new event. I also want to discuss a topic with you guys that is kind of near and dear to me with this game, as I've been dealing with that portion of this game for a long time now. And it has definitely bothered me about Marvel Contest of Champions over here. But more on that in a moment. Just looking through my rewards over here. So we have a new event going on in Marvel Contest of Champions. It has started today for me, which is the 7th. I happen to see it very late on the 7th, so some of you guys might be seeing it on the 8th. And that is the Romance Week. So, today we got a very large skill ISO, 5,000 experience points on skill. On day 2, we will have 5 single heals. Then we are going to get 5-star hero shards. This is a team heal, so we're going to get 5 level 3 team heals. 200 of the 5-star shards. Tier 4 skill catalyst fragments. And then finally, on the last day, we are going to get a guaranteed 3-star or higher crystal over here. Guarantees a 3-star hero involved in either the romance or its complicated synergies, with a chance at a 4-star hero involved in either romance or its complicated. I think that has to do with Vision and Scarlet Witch. I think I forgot. Howard the Duck is coming up on the 25th of February. And we have another 7-day event of the Tier 1 Dimensional Crystals. So, that's the events that we've got going on for Marvel Contest of Champions. Now, what is this topic that has always affected me about this game? And they are finally beginning to rectify. I don't think this has anything to do with Netmarble, because I don't think Netmarble's hand is in this yet. But it is definitely a step in the right direction. For me, and this is just me, I'm not saying this is like it for all of you guys here when it comes to Marvel Contest of Champions, I have found that MCC is the greediest of the Marvel games. And by that I mean in comparison to Marvel Avengers Alliance 1 and 2 when they were around, Marvel Future Fight, and Marvel Heroes. Now, I don't know the Academy one or the Puzzle Quest one. I never did play those. I know I have some channel viewers that have played them, and they've commented in past videos like, oh yeah, so-and-so was in Puzzle Quest and such. But out of all the Marvel games that I have played that were free to play, I have found MCC to be the absolute greediest of the bunch. And also the most random. So if you look at prices here, $5 will get you a guaranteed 2-star, maybe a 3 to 4 catalyst, not even the actual catalyst, but fragments. And, you know, fragments again. So a potentially guaranteed piss pile, and then a bunch of other kind of crap. The lowest thing here is Peter Parker's wallet for 135 credits. And you cannot get basically like jack shit for 135. It goes all the way up to 100. And in all honesty, most things come somewhere between the $10 and $30 mark. They need a middle ground here. Like maybe a 15. So let's look at what you can get in the store. Well, it's actually crystal. So let's look at a crystal and see how that compares. Alright, a premium hero crystal guarantees a 2 to a 4 star is 100. 5 attempts at it is 500. So, I mean, you barely, for $5, you barely get a shot at a hero. For me, what has always happened in my history with this game is it's dupe city. I mean, I can make a jingle of we're gonna rock down to dupe city, Bugaloo. I mean, it's that's what I hate about this game is I cannot tell you how many times I have gotten to the point where I've earned like a crystal or something, or I do my daily, and what I wind up getting is a Scarlet Witch, which I already have a pathetic Scarlet Witch, sometimes a Vision, duplicate Iron Fist I got lately. This Vision over here, more specifically, is the one that you get. Hulk. An occasional Colossus. I mean, I just get duplicates all the friggin' time. So a bunch of mystics. And when you spend money on credits, only to wind up with a duplicate, or even worse yet, fragments and not an actual crystal, I've just kind of always found this particular game greedy in those veins, you know, and we've lost one of the biggest comparisons in Marvel Avengers Alliance 1 and 2. I mean, Marvel Avengers Alliance 1, if you got, say you dropped $50, okay, and you got the gold sale, you generally, and I'm going to say generally, got a good piece of gear that more often than not was an extremely effective piece of gear. Yeah, there were some failures in there, like the Isosaur Whisperer people didn't like, even though I did. I mean, there were some flops. And then there were some ones that started off good and then flopped, like the summoning ones, like the Heroes for Hire that got nerfed and kind of became garbage. And when they, you know, they started off and they believed they were slightly overpowered, so you know, they got nerfed into the ground, basically. But the gold that I got off of a $50 gold sale, I feel like absolutely lasted me, you know, a whole month. And I felt like I generally got extreme value out of it. Marvel Future Fight. Considering I'm in the States, where obviously the dollar compares to nothing, and Android is cheaper generally than what you see in the Apple Store, doing it on Android in the States, it's always come in pretty decent. I found the price is decent, and what you can get for what you spend is pretty good. Arguably, Marvel Future Fight is not as generous once you start really pushing the Black Order, especially Odin and Thanos. That can get really bad, and the Doctor Strange quest is daunting for a lot of beginners, especially those who are not doing 5 and out on the world bosses for BAM and everything like that. So, Marvel Future Fight doesn't get too grabby hands until way deeper into the game, and you're probably relatively hooked on it by then. To me, and you know, I think Marvel Heroes is fairly solid too, especially with some of the hero packs where you get the hero, you get a skin, you get a stash, and to me, bank space is at a premium in that game. But Marvel Contest of Champions, I have always felt was the biggest ripoff of the free-to-play Marvel games. And I felt this game was the worst in that category. Do I have much experience with Kabam titles? No, I used to play Arcane Empires, what seems like an absolute eternity ago, but I don't recall what the purchasing power was like in that, how the store compared to other free-to-play games at the time. I don't really recall dropping any money on Arcane Empires, to be honest, but I feel like I have not touched that game in over 3 years now, if not 4, maybe even 5 at this point. So that's the only other Kabam game that I know. I know a couple Netmarbles because I now have Chronoblade by Netmarble, and I've always been fairly impressed with Netmarble. But at Kabam and the way they handle Marvel Contest of Champions, I've always thought was trash. But I think they're beginning to make some progress. The login events have seemed pretty cool. We now have the week 1, and not only that, one of my biggest gripes has been fixed in the last few months. I've held off doing a video on it because I wanted to make sure the trend continues, but I think it was Thanksgiving or Christmas, whatever was the month that Loki was up. Loki was on the final day of the month. And I said, ooh, finally a chance to get a hero I don't have. There's going to be no fuck-ups about it. I know I don't have him. I know he's guaranteed. It's not going to be random. It's not going to be a duplicate. It's not going to be a waste. I'm going to get myself a Loki. Awesome. Well, I traveled by car in relation to the holiday, whether it was going out for Christmas or going out for Thanksgiving. And, I mean, I only drove 2 hours away to visit my family, but I forgot whether or not I logged in that day, and I missed one friggin' day on that calendar, and I lost the shot at Loki, and I was pissed. I was like, God damn it, I was so looking forward to finally guaranteeing somebody new, some kind of excitement on my roster, and one lousy fucking day, and I lost out. Well, with Jean Grey or Phoenix and now Howard the Duck, it's not on the final day now. The final day is, I mean, a still pretty good reward, 1,000 shards towards a 4-star hero. But now they're doing the heroes in the middle of the last week. And that really excites me and really takes a lot of stress off of trying to hit the dailies in MCC. And I feel like a weight has been lifted off my game. Lifted off of my shoulders in relation to this game. And I am happy to report I'm finally getting some not duplicates. Doctor Strange, no, he's not that new. Superior Iron Man was a random pull lately and came in really good. I mean, came in as the absolute best character on my roster. I mean, that is a go-to anchor right there. Magneto is relatively new for me. Let's see who else. This Spider-Man, Black Suit Spider-Man or Symbiote Spider-Man was relatively new for me. This Deadpool was relatively new. Jean Grey or Phoenix was guaranteed. So, happy I got a guarantee. And I think that's about it. Quake, I think, was maybe a login reward, too. So I think maybe I got 2 months of login rewards. I think I got Quake and Phoenix. So, and Guillotine had been my anchor for a long time. Like, I pulled this Guillotine a while ago, like 6, 7, 8 months ago, and she came in very high. And she was always on, like, my best of the best teams. Plus, I love Guillotine. I love the character. I really wish Marvel would put her, well, not Marvel, but other Marvel games would put her in their games. I like her a lot. I like her ability set. I believe she kind of has a decent range because of the sword. She just strikes me as badass, and I would love to see her in other games. But Guillotine, this is the only game where I've heard of her. I've seen her nowhere. She's not a team-up in Marvel Heroes. She's not Marvel Future Fight. I've never seen her referenced, but Let's see if we can find out the It's Complicated synergy. I'm sure it's Vision. So, alright, there's romance. Who would be complicated? Would it be Hawkeye and somebody? Where are you, Cheese Eye? Okay, well that's romance over there with Scarlet Witch. Who would be complicated? Phoenix and Cyclops, maybe? Friend there. Okay, yeah, I called it. Phoenix, Cyclops, and okay, cool. So now we know we could get either a Wolverine or a Cyclops or a Jean Grey or a Vision or a Hawkeye and Scarlet Witch. Now, I don't think this Vision's going to count. Nope, they're count as enemies. Yeah, okay. So that gives you a clue as to who you might pull. And there might honestly be others, but I don't think so. I'm sure that's probably going to be it. Friends, teammates, rivals. Okay, cool. So I'm happy Marvel Contest of Champions is getting finally not too grabby hands on your wallet. I still think their store is expensive, and I still think we deserve a middle ground. But the other thing I'm happy to report on is, as you can see when it cycles over here, my gold is exceptionally high, 173. I spent months in this game not really being able to train anybody because I didn't have the gold to do it, and I didn't have the catalyst. The catalyst I know I can fix, but I didn't have the gold to do anything with my people. What would give me a shot in the arm is when I would take my battle credits. Where's that Punisher one? The battle chips, and I would cash it out for like a 10 tries, because you would get a lot of extra stuff here that was sellable, and just gold from that. So I would cash out 10 tries for Punisher, and that would usually give me a shot in the arm for gold for a while, and then I would just wind up spending it all. But the amount of gold crystals I've had lately, that makes me happy too. I still kind of wish there was a little bit of a better way of guaranteeing heroes and stopping the dupes. I mean, yeah, you honestly could say, hey, well, don't forget, Marvel Avengers Alliance, we had the dupes on the comic covers. And yes, that is definitely a good counterpoint to that. But you could farm the comic covers by fighting the group bosses or doing whatever was your source for that cover. Yes, you could buy gold and open boxes ahead of time if you wanted to get greedy, or you just weren't going through them fast enough. You were impatient. But this game has let me down for new heroes way more than covers ever did in Marvel Avengers Alliance 1. Marvel Avengers Alliance 2 had its random things, but again, I felt like I encountered those things that could unlock a hero more frequently than this. And if I did wanted to cash it out, if I wanted to cash shop it, I just think everything was infinitely cheaper than this. Marvel Heroes, you pick what you want. There's no randomness there. You have Eternity Splinters that you can do it. You have hero packs that you can do it and get the stash and an alternative costume. Like right now it's Beast, and I think it's Beast with his 80s X-Men cartoon outfit, the yellow pants and everything. I've always felt MCC has been the worst, but I'm happy to say I think it's getting better. And if I think it's getting better and believe in it, I'm certainly going to report it, because it means my previous opinion is changing and it's now wrong. I'm not saying I have egg on my face. I still think they have always been pretty shitty, but they're taking steps in the right direction. So enjoy the love is, well, not love is in the air, that's World of Warcraft, but enjoy the romance event going on. Enjoy the slightly more generous Marvel Contest of Champions. And in case you don't know, this is an awesome week in gaming. Neo has been released on the PlayStation 4. For Honor open beta comes out on Steam and the consoles on the 9th. And they've been doing some celebrity Twitch streaming starting on the 7th. Cloud Pirates is going into beta. So there's a whole lot of fun stuff this week in gaming. So I hope you're all like up to your fucking eyeballs in fun stuff to do. Take care, everybody.